I want to know if you've already experienced, or your clients, of course, sent your clients to a Royalton wedding experience. Can you send a heart so we can see that? And if this is new for you and you have yet to send a destination wedding to any of the Royalton properties, let's see a clap or a thumbs up. We'd love to see that so we know who's new here. I love that. So we have a mix, and we're so happy you took the time out today. I want to introduce everyone, of course. As you know, I'm Sabrina with Spoiled Agent. We have the lovely Lori Davis with us once again, sales supervisor with Royalton Weddings. How are you today, Lori?
I'm wonderful. Thanks so much for having us.
Of course, thank you. And we also have Laura Lieras, Manager of Wedding Services. How are you, Laura?
I'm very good, thank you. Very excited to be here. Excited to show everybody a little bit more about our properties and all the fun stuff that they can kind of look forward to.
I'm just dying to know where this picture is. Where is this?
This one, Lori, do you happen to know we've used this picture
It's either
for a
it's
good
either
while now?
it's Antigua. I don't
Or
know if it's
is it
Chic
Antigua?
or if it's Royalton Antigua because both of them have over the water bungalows.
Oh my goodness. So, okay, so you have this amazing problem where you have so many amazing things that is hard to keep track. I think everyone's going to love this webinar. I'm so excited. Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No,
It's
that's okay.
just
It's a
so
great way to
beautiful.
you say it in a great way. We have so many fantastic things and so many nice locations that sometimes I don't even get to see them from these beautiful angles. So this to me looks like a brand new property, but it's our Antigua property with those lovely bungalows that we're always selling and sharing. But it's a nice different view. So hopefully some pictures that everybody gets to see here today are some new pictures that they haven't been able to see so far, or new angles that kind of give a better perspective.
Yes. And so this is exciting. There's so many beautiful things to see, as you mentioned, and your page on Spoiled Agent is chock full of great and amazing tools. Carissa says, what did Carissa just said? Something about Antigua. Let's see. It's Royalton Chic Antigua. I got to stay there last October, all in caps. Beautiful, Carissa says. Thank you for sharing. In the process of booking now at the Hideaway Negril. Florice says, look at all of you. Thank you so much for your support. And let's give a big round of applause and hearts to the ladies for taking their time out of wedding planning and making the client's dreams come true to give us this time, their time for education and sharing with us. And also, they have an amazing and very generous prize. Does anyone want to say what that is? Either of you?
We do. So we have a 4 night stay at any one of our properties, with the exclusion of one of the new properties in Mexico, Paraiso, that we've taken over. So other than that, you are welcome to a 4 night stay. I believe there will be a few blackout dates, but not a ton. But yeah, very exciting.
Wow, 4 nights. That's so fantastic. So generous of you. Thank you so much. If you're here on Zoom with us, we don't need any details. All you need to do is stay on until we start the Q&A, so the end of the presentation, and you'll be automatically entered to win. If you're tuning in on any of our other channels, only on the other channels, please add in your email so we can add you to the draw. We wish everyone good luck. And of course, there's a $250 gift card being drawn every month for anyone that tunes in live. Every time you tune in live to one of our Spoiled Agent webinars, you are entered to win. So you could win too, you never know. So good luck to everyone. Enjoy, and I'll see you on the other side for the Q&A. Of course, the Q&A, we need to enter that in the box. Let's have fun in the chat and share all our great comments. Natalie says, amazing, thank you. It's a great prize. But if you have a question, these are the absolute pros. I mean, managers, supervisors, you've got the top of the top of Royalton Weddings, and you have them here for the whole hour. So please ask your questions, ask away, but add them in the Q&A so they don't get lost. Help us out with that. Okay, I'll let you get started.
Thanks,
Awesome.
Sabrina. Can everybody see my screen? It's sharing well. Yep, great. Lori, I'll let you go ahead.
Perfect. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Sabrina, for such a warm welcome. Everyone, we're so thrilled to be here and to share all of this information with you. So I'm going to jump right in. So we've kind of gone over the prize that we have, which is fantastic. And then we have our next slide is going to kind of just give us an overview of all of the different properties that we have to offer. I've been with the company for quite some time now, and I can tell you that I would say at year, we open 1 to 2 properties. So there are more coming. We do have some news about that as we go through the presentation. We'll give you some upcoming openings as well. But these would be all the locations that our team would be able to assist with regards to weddings, with the exception of the Mystique in Mexico. But outside of that, all of these our team would assist with. So I'm going to quickly do a quick overview in terms of the brands, because we do have a number of brands that fall under us now, and they all offer something slightly different, so to make sure everybody kind of understands how they work. So Royalton is obviously our flagship brand. We have more of these properties than any of the other brands out there. So this is going to be your family-friendly brand, the one you're probably most familiar with. Royalton Riviera Cancun was the very first. It's definitely the most popular in terms of weddings. It just had a huge facelift done to it as well. So that's kind of what you're expecting there. Again, across the brands, you're going to have very similar experience, whether you're in Mexico or Jamaica or somewhere else. Many of the look, feel, decor, restaurants, inclusions are going to be the same across the board. So the next brand that we're going to look at is going to be Hideaway. So one thing to remember is that Royalton Hideaway is always, this is why it's called a resort within a resort, is always connected to a Royalton property. These are not standalone properties. They are the adults only section of the larger Royalton resort. So the one great thing about these properties is that you can stay here and you can also access the entire Royalton side of the property. The reciprocal privileges, though, do not go the other way. So if you are staying at Royalton, you cannot use the Hideaway section, even if you are an adult. But this is great for a lot of times we'll have wedding couples that really want to stay on the Hideaway side. They can totally do that. You can have guests stay on both sides, no issues. It's a great perk. Usually there are additional bars, restaurants, pools offered in this section as well. The next brand is going to be Royalton Chic. So our chic properties are standalone, adults only properties. They definitely offer a different vibe. So right now we have 3 of these. There's Punta Cana, there's Cancun, and then there's Antigua. These properties are more of a party vibe. They're obviously adults only. They're wonderful for bachelorettes, girls trips, and other men's trips, other things like that. They're obviously great for weddings as well, but obviously because they are adults only, they don't have the same draw, just because most weddings do have somebody under the age of 18 attending. But yeah, these are great. And they're all very different. The one in Punta Cana is quite small. The one in Cancun is more of like a high-rise hotel in the hotel zone. So they all offer something very different. The next brand that I'm going to go over is Planet Hollywood. So we do have 2 Planet Hollywood properties. There's one in Cancun, which is an enormous property. There's also one in Costa Rica, which is actually a much smaller property. And so these are going to be very similar to the Royalton brand that you're probably familiar with. Just the branding is very different. So obviously this is more movie themed, but the restaurants are equivalent. So, Sunset Strip Steakhouse at Planet Hollywood is equivalent to Hunter Steakhouse at Royalton. So same with the wedding packages. They're same across the board. The branding and the naming is just different, but the inclusions are going to be the same. So this, you can comfortably send somebody to a Planet Hollywood. If you know that they like Royalton, they're very much going to like this as well. Obviously there's some things that are slightly different, the decor and things like that, but the core values and the offerings at the hotel are going to be the same. And then, so the last brand I'm going to go over, which I know somebody mentioned in the chat that they were looking forward to Barbados. So here we go. So Royalton Vescence is the new brand that falls under our umbrella. So Royalton Vescence is going to be an adult-oriented property. So it is not an adult-only property. We do allow for children to stay. However, there really aren't a ton of offerings for them. There will be no kids club, there will be no splash pads or anything like that. But it is geared towards an older crowd. The one in Barbados specifically, we actually just got some more information on this property. It's going to be very culturally immersive. It's very arts focused, very unplugged. It's going to offer late night swimming and some really different things that we haven't had before. So that's really exciting. And Barbados doesn't offer a ton of all inclusive experiences. So this will be great for that. We've also announced that there's a Vestance that will be opening in Cancun later this year as well. So this brand is looking to grow, and the first two that fall under this brand will open this year.
Thank you, Lori. I'll go ahead and take it away now and get a little bit deeper diving into weddings and what that looks like and what your couples can expect when they visit one of our properties and decide to book their wedding with us. So in general, I want to just give a quick overview here of what your couples can expect and what that timeline might look like for them, starting with our sales team. So Lori, is the supervisor in our sales team, and her team will ensure that all of your couples that inquire have all of the information that they need in order to make the selections, both of the hotel and specific wedding locations that best fit their needs and what they're specifically looking for. So they'll be working with the sales department all the way through kind of until they make their final selections of where they're going to be hosting their wedding and what locations and general timeline, kind of what time their ceremony is going to start and things like that. And then they'll move on to our pre-planning team. So this pre-planning team is for all of our clients that book more than 6 months in advance of their wedding. And it gives them this timeline to be able to speak to some consultants and have kind of that main point of contact before it's really time to get into the nitty gritty of their exact details. So this pre-planning timeline here will be for them to ask any general questions that they might have, any curiosities that they have that they maybe didn't get through during the sales stage, as well as make any small changes to their booking should they need to. If they decided that, they originally booked the beach for their ceremony, but they actually do want the sky terrace now, that pre-planning team is more than happy to assist them in making those changes. I want to quickly jump to our South Asian specialists because our South Asian weddings are much more involved and they require a little bit longer of a planning timeline. So our South Asian weddings that are booked, they will immediately be introduced to their South Asian wedding specialist. They don't go into a pre-planning kind of timeline there so that they can use that additional time to get through all of the details and kind of nitty gritty of all of the extra fun things that they work with. Moving on down the timeline, now that your wedding would be around 6 months in advance, we would then introduce each couple to their assigned offsite wedding consultant. This would then be their main point of contact and the person that they'll be working with up until about 2 weeks before the wedding. So their wedding consultant offsite will be working with them to, work on the details of their wedding, things like pictures and florals and all of the decor, their menu selections, really planning the wedding itself. And they do that all up until about 45 days before the wedding when the final payment is due and all final details need to be kind of done at that point. And they will be their main point of contact. And then we pass on all of those details to our fantastic on-site team who will be operationally putting on all of the fun kind of virtual things that we've been putting on paper and bring them to life. So about 2 weeks before the wedding, their assigned wedding consultant will then introduce them to their assigned on-site wedding consultant who will then be their main point of contact in destination and be there with them throughout the day of the wedding itself and any pre or post wedding events that they might have planned. On the right-hand side here, we'll just quickly show you, this is a snapshot of a document that all of our couples get during the sales stage so that they also have information like what I just shared with you of what to expect throughout. And it kind of takes away some of the fear there of planning a destination because you know what to expect and what's coming up next down the timeline. So we found that to be very helpful. I'll get into some of our packages here. I won't go into too much detail of exactly what's included with each, but I do want to share with you kind of the main differences and the main selling points of each of the packages so that you know which package would be more geared towards the couple that you're working with. In general, these packages are meant to be pretty stress-free and kind of include everything that you would need baseline for the wedding that you're hoping for. And then anything from there, of course, we could add on and customize and make it exactly the way that the couple wants. The process is meant to be a very kind of partnership between their assigned wedding consultant and the couple itself to really bring to life what they want, while still our consultants will be able to let them know what is feasible, what is not feasible, so that their ideas can actually be put into reality. And we're not just saying yes to things just to say yes. We want them to operationally make sense and actually go through in the way that the couple is expecting. So that's the idea behind why these packages are made the way that they are, because we find three different needs of couples with their wedding. So I'll start with just the two of us. This is meant to be an elopement style wedding, so just for the wedding couple itself. It comes with a symbolic ceremony. All of our packages come with a symbolic ceremony, but of course those can be upgraded to a legal ceremony at an additional cost of the paperwork and the legalities to do that, but we absolutely can do that with any of our packages themselves. It also will always come with a bouquet and a boutonniere for the wedding couple. We have an example here, very simple, beautiful florals that usually come from that country of origin. So it really reflects kind of what they can expect at the destination. And then a really sweet private reception for the two of them at the beach, a nice candlelit dinner on the beach. So very kind of elopement, romantic, just the two of them style. That would be the couple that would go for this package itself. We then move on to the luxury or the free package. As Lori said, they're just branded and named a little bit differently from Royalton to Planet Hollywood, but this would be the luxury slash free wedding package. This wedding package can be provided as complimentary if the wedding group books a minimum of 35 room nights at the hotel itself. So when they meet that requirement, we would just need them to send us some documentation that we make very clear to them. We send them the document that they can fill out so that we can verify their room night stay, and we can then on their invoice very clearly just detail that they're receiving the package as complimentary due to the night stay. So that's a really big selling point here, especially if your couples are looking for kind of, I hate to use the word basic, but what you would imagine to be the most traditional kind of just a simple ceremony and then a semi-private reception to celebrate the day here. So if they have enough guests, which typically couples do, to be able to get this complimentary, it's a fantastic way for them to then use their budget towards some extras and upgrading things and adding florals and fun stuff there. So with this package also comes the bouquet and the boutonniere for the wedding couple, and then they get a 2-hour semi-private dinner reception at one of the restaurants at the hotel. Now these are semi-private because they're the same restaurants used as the hotel for the hotel guests, but they of course for the wedding group will section off something kind of off to the side. They're not going to be right in the center of the restaurant, but it is still a shared space. So they would not be able to add things like a DJ or a dance floor or dancing or anything like that. This would very much just be a sit-down dinner in a little section of one of the existing hotel restaurants. Again, symbolic ceremony that can absolutely be upgraded. So that's kind of our luxury free package. We then move on to refined or PH love package. This one has a little bit more. This one would include excuse me, a ceremony itself, but it also will include a cocktail hour and a private reception. So you'll notice here that the ceremony again is a symbolic ceremony. It'll have the bride bouquet and the groom's boutonniere, as well as a bouquet and a boutonniere for the bridal party. So we're now kind of introducing more people, a little bit of extra inclusions there for our couples that pick this package. This package itself includes 30 people. And let me just go back here. I forgot to mention here for the luxury package, the package itself includes 10 people for the cost of the package. Any additional guests above 10 would then be added on at an additional cost. For the refined, going back here now, the refined includes 30 guests, and then any guests above 30 would come at an additional cost. So this one is meant for a bit of a larger party, somebody that wants a more full day of events. We have 3 events there. The cocktail hour is a 1 full hour of cocktail. They'll have some appetizers included there, an hour of open bar, a sound system, This is also a great time for those couples that love to take pictures and want a lot of memories. The cocktail hour gives couples that time to kind of step away and take pictures and do all that fun stuff while their couples while their guests are still being entertained. And then we move on to now a 3-hour private reception. This private reception, unlike the semi-privates, is in a private location at the resort. So it's just for the wedding guests and, of course, the wedding couple itself. They'll have a full sit-down dinner, open bar. They get a nice 2-tier cake, all of the necessary furniture, tableware, and tables and chairs. And then anything above that, as you can see here, all of these kind of fun add-ons, florals, candles, runners, the arches, all of those things are what our consultants can assist your couple in bringing to life and adding onto their package to make it themselves. So the package is a great way to start and a base, and then we can work from there, which is a good selling point for couples. I don't want anybody to see these packages and just think, that's what I'm set to, that's all I can get. Absolutely not. Definitely look at this as a starting point, and we can go up from there. And then we move on to our exclusive or PH Glam package. This is the fullest of our packages. And the main difference here, apart from that includes a couple of more included guests and some bits and bobs of inclusions, the main difference here is that the exclusive package also includes a welcome event. So it would be a private welcome event, a sit-down dinner event for technically, it's meant for the day before the wedding or a couple of days before the wedding to welcome everybody and start the festivities off with a bang. But we absolutely can be flexible, and this can be used and has been used in the past as a post-wedding event. A great way to get together after the wedding day and recap all of the fun stuff, share pictures with each other, and just reminisce of the fantastic day that they had behind. So they can use that welcome event either way they want, and their wedding consultant is more than happy to share the options with them of how they can use that event and what can be done with it to maximize it as best as possible. The exclusive wedding package includes 40 guests now, and then any guests above that would come at an additional cost. You'll see the additional cost listed there down there, and they'll all be listed in our wedding packages so that you can have a good idea of what you're presenting to your clients. The ceremony, again, symbolic ceremony that can absolutely be upgraded. Same bouquets and boutonnieres that can be given to the bridal party and the wedding couple. They then get a cocktail hour similar to the refined package where they have an additional event there for their guests to be entertained while the bride and groom or the wedding couple itself is doing all the hustle and bustle that we know they all get into on that day. And then their private reception is now a 4-hour reception. So it gives them a little bit more time. It allows them to have a little bit of a longer event. I do want to mention again, these are just starting points. So even with the refine that only includes 3 hours, they absolutely can add additional hours at the additional cost of course, any entertainment that they're having, and open bar so that we're extending the event itself. But this one comes base with 4 hours included. They also get a really nice perk with this package, which is a $300 credit to use towards floral centerpieces at the reception. This is for fresh florals. And to be quite honest, it is very easy to select something. Even we've had couples that really don't want any florals. It's not their thing, or they go with some of our silk floral options, which this credit would not go towards. We can absolutely quote a $300 floral arrangement for them to simply use that credit for them and put it somewhere throughout the reception, whether that's on a welcome sign or on a welcome table. It doesn't necessarily mean that you then need to have all of your centerpieces be fresh florals. We can find ways to use this within the boundaries that we have. So those are our lovely Western wedding packages. We also do offer South Asian wedding packages right now in Mexico and the Dominican. We have a dedicated South Asian team. Priya is our South Asian supervisor who mans that team. They have a wealth of knowledge of all of the events and all of the details that go into planning a South Asian wedding that some of our Western wedding consultants might not know the intricacies of. So we have a team dedicated to that has the knowledge that all of those couples will need. And exciting, once we do start opening up back in Jamaica, Royalton Blue Waters will also begin to be offering very soon some South Asian wedding packages as well. So something very exciting to be looking forward to there in Jamaica moving forward. And then lastly, I just want to quickly touch on some of our cultural add-ons or cultural experiences. Um, in Jamaica, the Dominican, Costa Rica, St. Lucia, and Mexico now. This list used to be a lot shorter, but now it's becoming kind of all of our properties. We have our experiences. So in Mexico, it would be the Mexican experience, St. Lucia, the St. Lucian experience, so on and so forth. And this is kind of an add-on to a package that they can then make their package a little bit more culturally geared. So in Mexico, this would mean, let's say you're adding the Mexican experience to the refined package. This then means that the canapes that are included during the cocktail hour and the menu that's included during the reception is a Mexican style menu. So they don't have to go out of their way to individually select things or think about things that would make their experience a little bit more Mexican in this case. We've kind of already pre-packaged that in a way that they can chuck it onto their selected package and transform it into a more cultural. So things like I mentioned, the menus and the canapé offerings, types of performances. In Mexico, we have mariachi bands. In St. Lucia, we have Caribbean trios and the steel band players. 3 hours of open bar. Of course, this makes sense to add on if the couples are, for example, doing the luxury package that doesn't have a private reception included already. Like we talked about, it would just be semi-private. This is a great way to then upgrade that and make it into a private reception, make it a sit-down meal and a private area. And then, of course, like I mentioned, local cuisine and culturally specific performances. So this is a really great way for your couples to really kind of get immersed in the culture that they're going to in a really easy way without having to go out of the way. It's already done for them that they can just pick from. Lori, I'll throw it back to you.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Laura. I did my best typing my little fingers off to try to answer as many questions as possible. Some of them are being asked multiple times. I know we're going to get to questions at the end, but I want you to know that some of them we will definitely answer live because there's some repeats. So I've made some notes as well to make sure that we kind of capture the ones from the Q&A and the chat. But right now I'm going to go through the different properties that we offer, and we're just going to quickly highlight some of the most popular wedding locations so you can kind of see what you can expect from some of the resorts. So these are obviously all of the resorts we offer in Mexico that we will plan for. Again, Hideaways are connected to Royalton's. Chic is standalone, and then Planet Hollywood. We also have Splash, obviously, which is the newest and the most popular. So this, we're going to highlight our Sky Terrace. So one thing to note for Royalton properties, this is obviously a ceremony setup. You can see there might be a little bit of a reception setup towards the back left there. But ceremonies at the Sky Terrace for all Royalton properties, because they are completely private, it is an upgrade. They are an additional $1,500 to host your ceremony in this space. We also do receptions in this space. The reception is not an additional charge, but the ceremonies are. So if you have a couple that's looking to do a ceremony here, not a problem at all. We'll also make sure your couples are aware of that before they book. You can also expect this very typical, as you'll see, we'll highlight a couple of Sky Terrace locations along the way. A lot of them look very similar. These stone arches, usually some sort of wooden pergola covering as well. And so this is Royalton Riviera Cancun, and this is our family-friendly Sky Terrace. We do offer one on the Hideaway side of the property as well. That is adults only. This is the larger location of the two, though. Next, we're going to move over to Royalton Splash. So this is our newest resort in Mexico. It is very popular. It is completely family friendly. There is no hideaway section to this resort at all. There is a ginormous water park, which is fabulous for anybody traveling with children or adults that just like to have a really good time on vacation. It also offers our largest Sky Terrace location. So that's what we're looking at here. Now, this resort is slightly different in the sense that typically we cannot do ceremony, cocktail, and reception all in one location, especially our Sky Terrace locations. They are not large enough. This one is, and this is where we would encourage couples actually to use one space for all three events. So this photo, you can see the ceremony is set up towards the very front. There's a cocktail section set up in the middle with additional furniture. And then there is a reception set up towards the back of the photo as well. So this is the largest Sky Terrace we offer out of all of our properties. The next location we're going to look at is Royalton Chic. So Chic Cancun is definitely a different vibe. It's definitely a little bit more of a party vibe. It does have beautiful beach. This location right here is our Sunrise Terrace. It is the most popular at this property. For groups of 40 or less, we can do ceremony, cocktail, and reception all in this space. Definitely the one that's used most, mainly because the view and the photos are really, really beautiful. Okay, so this is Planet Hollywood Cancun. So one thing that's going to differ between Planet Hollywood and Royalton is the additional fee for ceremonies in our rooftop locations. So they're called Sky Terraces at Royalton. They're called rooftops at Planet Hollywood. There is no extra charge to use the rooftops for ceremonies at Planet Hollywood. So it's a nice perk. We do have 2 rooftop locations at Planet Hollywood Cancun. This one is rooftop 24. So it is the highest rooftop that we offer. The other one is the 2nd floor of the Italian restaurant. This one is the 6th or 7th floor of building 24. That's why it's called rooftop 24. And we can use this location specifically for ceremonies and cocktails only. No receptions at this space. It is covered, which is nice. So it does keep your guests out of the sun, and as well as the wedding couple. It does have a beautiful view as well. Okay, so Jamaica. One thing I did want to, there were a lot of questions about Jamaica and the opening dates. And so we will definitely acknowledge the fact that unfortunately both of these properties are currently closed. They were hit very hard, unfortunately, with Hurricane Melissa. Laura and her team worked endlessly to deal with all of our poor couples that were booked at these properties over the closure dates, to rebook and assist as many as we possibly could. And so as far as we are aware, yes, the opening date of August
25th.
Thank you for Negril, and September
15th.
Perfect. Thank you. Waters, as far as we are aware, yes, those are firm opening dates. We do have rooms being booked. We do have weddings being booked for shortly after that. So, you know, there may not be, it may not be everything is completely finished. But yes, the hotel should be up and running by then. We don't have any updated photos or anything that we can share. What I can tell you is that these resorts, unfortunately, this is not the first time they've been hit with a hurricane where we have had major damage. And the wedding locations have been rebuilt to look basically identical as they have before. So I would very much imagine that the photos that we have currently are very close to what they will be rebuilt to look like. And obviously, once we have the new locations completed, we will absolutely share images if there's anything different. Laura, did you have anything to add to that?
I didn't. I was just going to say we have some spotty communication still with them because, of course, the hotel's completely closed, so our wedding teams are not on site every day. But the few communications that I have been able to have with both Negril and Blue Waters tells me that they are preparing. They are getting very excited. It's definitely not kind of an afterthought of wedding and hotel first. They're working hand in hand to kind of get going. They're excited to get back and get all these couples married. A lot of the couples that were affected, we were able to, some were more emergency and coming up sooner, so we couldn't keep them in Jamaica. But a lot of them did decide to postpone to kind of later in the year or early in 2027, and they're very excited to host them and show them the property. I'm sure, like Lori said, a lot of the locations will look very, very similar as they always have. But I do also notice when there is some damage, unfortunately, they rebuild it while thinking ahead and trying to improve the structures themselves. We had, for example, and Laura will definitely get to this, a location that used to be kind of boarded in the floor. They were just floorboards, wooden floorboards, and those would seem to come up a lot. And with the weather got very slippery in one of the hurricanes that they experienced, they decided to take those away and just pave it nicely, both for safety and durability. So I'm expecting to see some of those improvements as well once we get new pictures and information from them.
For sure. Okay. So I can see Stephanie asked a question about the locations at Blue Waters. So yes, as far as we know, we will have both of those locations back. They are both of the gazebos. This is obviously our beach gazebo on the Blue Water side. Very popular because it does have this walkway all the way out. So couples getting married here do not need to step in sand if they do not want to. Brides can wear their heels, wedding party can rock their whatever shoes, and they're not trudging through the sand at all. And you mentioned the ocean gazebo. It is easily the most popular location at this property. So I can't imagine that they would not rebuild that just the way it was. It's obviously it's stunning. So yes, I would imagine those will come back, both of them. Again, once we get updated photos, we'd be happy to share them. And then obviously this is actually the location that Laura was referencing. So Royalton Negril has been hit a couple times, unfortunately, and this location did get very slippery when it was wet. So yes, they have paved, or it's like cement now, the walkway leading up to it. But again, I was here before a hurricane and then after. And when it was rebuilt, those arches looked identical. You wouldn't have even been able to tell.
I don't know how they do it.
I know, exactly the same. So again, this is the most popular ceremony location at this property. So this will easily be rebuilt and fixed. But yes, this is our Ocean Point gazebo at Royalton Negril. Okay, Dominican Republic. So these properties, we have a next slide that it will help explain some of the reciprocal privileges at these properties. So Royalton Punta Cana and Royalton Splash Punta Cana and Royalton Hideaway are all on this map. So Royalton Punta Cana is going to be your beachfront property, the one towards the right of the photo. At the bottom of that is the section that's going to be Hideaway. And then towards the left is going to be Royalton Splash, which is obviously more family friendly. It is not beachfront. It does share wedding locations with Royalton Punta Cana, and that's where the water park is. So hopefully that gives you some context as to how those resorts kind of all work together. Royalton Punta Cana, this is our beach gazebo. It is a very popular location at this property. The only thing I will point out is if you have any couples that are specifically looking for something private for a ceremony, this is not the space for them. Some couples don't care, and in this case, it's great. Obviously, it has beautiful view, but as you can see, kind of to the right and left, there will be beachgoers fairly close to this location. So if you have a couple that would like some privacy, this probably is not the best space for them to select. But again, very beautiful location. Does have that walkway out to it as well. This is also Royalton Punta Cana. So this location is actually located in between Royalton Punta Cana and Royalton Splash Punta Cana. It is very private. It is completely enclosed, very lush and green. And we can use it for ceremonies, cocktails, and receptions. So if you have a group of 40 or less, we can do back-to-back. Larger groups, we can still use it. We just need time in between to reset the space, tear down and reset. But it does come with these covered thatched areas and stuff, which is great for some people will set up DJ or photo booth or whatever they're looking to do in those spaces. So this is a really great option for couples specifically who, maybe want a destination wedding but don't want sand. This is the perfect spot for them. Next, we've got Royalton Bavaro. So again, this property is also completely family friendly. There is no adults only section. This is our Diamond Club Beach gazebo. This location also has undergone some changes over the years, but this is what it currently looks like. It does have, it's very popular too because it has that raised like platform basically, so that all of your guests are out of the sand for this ceremony, which I know some couples are looking for. So it is a really great option for that. If people don't want their guests in the sand, this is a great space for that at Royalton Bavaro. And I'm going to quickly just go through some of these smaller locations. So we've got Royalton St. Lucia. Again, here's our Sky Terrace location. Again, very similar to what it looks like at Royalton Riviera Cancun with the archway. It is the extra $1,500 for ceremony with a beautiful background. And I think the next slide, the Diamond Club deck, I think I left it in here. I did. So this is the only one. This is one of my favorites. I'll leave it in. This St. Lucia gets 2 locations. So this is another location for a ceremony that is, again, on a platform out of the sand. It overlooks the ocean as well as some beautiful greenery. So the pictures are stunning. The structure is not included. So that's an additional cost. But this is probably the most popular ceremony location at Royalton St. Lucia. And then we've got Antigua. So going back to the over the water bungalows at the photo we saw at the beginning. So both of these properties have them. And actually, I think it was Royalton Chic. They started to build it and they weren't going to put them in. And the over the water bungalows were so popular at Royalton Antigua that they added them. So again, really great option. They're very popular with wedding couples. They are pricey. They do fill up quickly though, because I believe there's only 6 at each resort. So definitely just something to keep in mind. This is our Sky Terrace at Royalton Antigua. It is the smallest we offer. This one does look a little bit different. It doesn't have like the kind of that wood looking, but it definitely does have the archway and the stone. So it's really nice. It does have another section too, just towards the left that's kind of grassy. But this and the beach would be most popular at Antigua. And then there are the bungalows in the back from that initial photo. So this is the beach at Royalton Chic. This resort, again, I have not been here, unfortunately. Lucky you, whoever commented in the chat who has. I'm quite jealous. This property has a lot of different things it offers. One of the things that's really neat about it for anybody looking to use that luxury package, there is a restaurant that's located over the water. And you can book that for semi-private reception. So if you have a couple booking the luxury package at this resort, it's a really nice option. It's very scenic, very popular. And then we've got Grenada. This property, again, is a little bit on the small side, but definitely very beautiful. The beach is probably the most popular location here. We also do have like a garden location if you have somebody who's looking for something a little bit more lush and green. But typically the beach is what's used here, again, because there's also the trees and stuff and the water in the background. It's just gorgeous. Okay, Costa Rica. So this is one of my personal favorites. So this one also gets a couple slides. This is a much smaller property, but it is very close to the airport, which is so lovely. And it is also built like right onto a hill. So it is, you need to be very strategic when we are booking weddings at this property, and our sales team will help you with selecting locations that make sense. So there are locations that are located at the top of the hill, and then there are locations that are located at the bottom of the hill where the ocean is. And we will always try to recommend you pick one or the other. It's just not feasible, especially if it's a large group, to move everybody in a timely fashion. There are golf carts that run, but not enough that can move, if you're doing a 100-person wedding, not in a timely manner. So these locations, the top one and the one to the left are located at the top of the hill. It's the rooftop, and the one on the left is the 3rd floor terrace. Obviously, the location to the right is the beach. And one thing to note for this property, the sand is black here. So anybody looking for a white sand beach, this would not be the space, but this is great for setup because the sand is actually a little bit more packed and sturdy than like the white soft sand you're going to get, maybe in DR or Mexico. And then here's some reception locations. Obviously, the top one there is going to be on the beach. There's tons of trees that line the beach here, and actually monkeys that just live there. So you get a very exotic experience at Costa Rica. And then the 2 photos, the left and the very bottom, are also going to be rooftop reception setups. Okay, somebody also asked about commission. So I'm going to go over this quickly. So we do pay commission. So you receive 10% of the wedding package price the couple pays for. So if they get the package complimentary, commission does not apply. But basically, what you're going to need to do is reach out to us right after the wedding. Contact information is there. That's our sales inbox. And we'll put you in touch with Jamal, who is the person who deals with all of our commission stuff. And he'll give you everything you need to fill in, and we can get you paid for your commission. Promotions. So this is one of our, I will tell you, I've been here for a while, and we don't typically offer promotions in January and February because we're probably just as busy as you guys are. So this promotion was a surprise for us, and it's a wonderful one. So couples can receive 26% off of the Refined PH Love exclusive or PH Glam packages for weddings booked in January and February. It was just extended. So this also applies. I think it was Claire. Sorry, I was trying to write down names that mentioned she books lots of South Asian weddings. This also applies to our Bollywood and Kohinoor South Asian packages, which is a huge savings for couples. So definitely something, to pass on to your clients if they're interested in booking. Booking forms need to come in before the end of this month. This is a copy of our current BDM. So I think somebody was asking about Vonda. Vonda is no longer one of our BDMs, but these are who your BDMs would be. And if you ever aren't sure, you can always just reach out to our sales team, and we're happy to put you in touch with the right person. No problem at all. And then this is us. So you have our contact information. We are definitely happy for you to reach out to us if you need to for anything. This is Laura and I. And just to make things really confusing,
I was going to say.
It's two Lauras and a Lori. So, but anybody who's been around for a while, Laura Erickson started this program. She's been around for, 13, 14 years or something like that. Laura L and I also have been here for quite some time. So definitely happy to help with whatever you need. I don't know if we want to, I think that's kind of it, Laura? Maybe we should jump into some.
That's kind of it. I think we can go ahead and jump into some of these questions. I will stop sharing my screen so that.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Such great information. The chat box is blowing up, as is Facebook. We want to say thanks to all of you who have tuned in. I see lots of familiar faces. Melinda, Gio, so many of you. Too many to even mention, so many on Facebook. Thank you for tuning in, and all of you here on Zoom as well. So we'll go through the Q&A. If you do have to run because you're going to be going and booking one of these fabulous weddings, we forgive you. But if you have the time to stick with us, you might learn something new. So feel free either way. You don't, it's not obligation for you to stay. Either way, you've already entered to win both the gift card, monthly gift card draw, and the 4-night stay. So first up, how do you convince clients to use your Montego Bay property for a January wedding if it's not opening until September? And is that September a firm date?
Yeah, so I can go ahead and answer that. I think Lori kind of touched on this. Those dates are firm. They're expected to reopen on those dates without any issues or delays as of right now. Couples are very excited to get married, and I think that the way that we're able to continue them booking there and have that peace of mind is being very honest with them. When we had the closures, we were very honest of what was feasible and what was not feasible. So I think there's that trust there when we do say that it is possible, that they believe so. And just keeping them up to date. We're sending out communications whenever we can to those couples and ensuring that they feel comfortable with the choice that they've made. But we've found no issues with couples feeling like it's a good choice for them to stay in Jamaica.
Thank you. And thanks, Melinda and Vicky, for your wonderful comments on Facebook as well. Someone wants to know, can we get a copy of the timeline slide that was sort of in the beginning?
Yeah, that's no problem at all. I think they're talking about just the timeline of kind of booking with us and that planning process. We can absolutely get that over. And that can also be found on our links on the main Royalton and Planet Hollywood websites for weddings. That's part of all of those documentations there, but we'll have a copy sent out.
Okay, perfect. And this that'll be here for you on your report, Laura, with email and name and everything. So I'll just leave that
Fantastic.
one for you.
Perfect.
I have not sold a wedding as a travel agent. I just get confirmation the customer wants your property, and then I would pass them off to you, and everything else is handled by you. Is that right? And then they asked what the commission was, and you already said 10% on a paid wedding package, of course, not the free one.
Lori, did you want to kind of hop in on that one?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, what we so obviously we don't deal with any of the rooming type stuff. But if you're looking for a resort direct contact, we can always provide that to you. But yes, we would definitely, you can put the couple in touch with us, or you can reach out to us. Our sales team will help with all of the wedding related booking stuff. Some travel agents want to stay involved, some do not. So that's totally up to you and the client. And we're happy to help with taking over and getting them booked and the wedding stuff done. But yeah, that's all our team that will help with that stuff.
Okay. And what is the symbolic to legal upgrade fee? Does it depend on the destination?
It definitely does depend on the destination, and basically the cost would be whatever legal paperwork the government requires at that hotel, or sorry, within the country that that hotel is sitting in. So it can vary. You know, some of our Punta Cana properties are right now, I believe, 1,050. We have others in Jamaica that are a little bit require less paperwork, which are 350 US dollars. So it really depends. I would just say that if you are interested or your couple is interested in doing that, to inquire with the sales team specifically for the hotel that they're looking for, and we can provide accurate information at that time.
Okay. And can you mention the dates that Jamaica will be open again, please?
Yes. So Negril, Royalton Negril will reopen August 25th, 2026, and Royalton Blue Waters is scheduled to reopen September 15th, 2026.
Sorry, just one more time because I'm typing it
That's
for
okay.
them.
No, that's okay. Negril, August
Yep.
25th,
Okay.
and Blue Waters September 15th, 2026, of course.
September 15th. Okay, thank
15th. Yep.
you. August 25th and September 15th.
Correct.
Wonderful. And does the Sky Terrace location fee go towards their wedding package or is it on top of the package?
It would be on top of the package. So if they select one of the locations at one of our resorts that do require an upgrade fee for a ceremony at a Sky Terrace, that would be kind of an upgraded added cost to the package itself.
Makes sense. And how far in advance would you recommend for wedding reservations?
I can take that as soon as possible. And the reason being, so right now we're booking till the end of 2027. 2028 calendars will be opening before the end of this month. If you have a couple that has a very specific date, time of day, location they want, they can secure their wedding whenever they'd like. Quite often, even before they can secure their rooms. It just ensures they get what they want. Whereas if you wait, which is totally fine as well, we do short notice, you're going to be kind of stuck with what we have left in the calendar because the weddings or the resorts do multiple weddings a day.
That makes sense. And when booking a wedding, is it best to book the rooms directly with the property for smooth communication and with the wedding coordinator, or can it be done through a supplier and then the wedding coordinator is supplied through the supplier? Or do they book the rooms with the supplier and then reach out to you? How does that work?
Yep. So you could the rooms can be secured any way the travel agent would prefer. They can go direct to the hotel. They can use a supplier. It doesn't matter. We're not involved in the rooms process at all. So the rooms process is however you would like to handle that yourself, if you have a preferred supplier or however you'd like to handle that. And then the wedding, you would come to us directly and we would help with that.
Okay, perfect. And I'm going to share that contact email just one more time so they have it. And will travel agents be able to visit the Blue Waters property? It says BW. I assume that's Blue Waters, either right before they open or right after.
Lori, do you know? I actually am not sure if they'll be able to visit before they open. We haven't heard any word. Lori, have you heard anything different?
No, I don't. But I did. There was a
Yeah.
question multiple times about site visits. So I did want to touch on it quickly um, because there were some questions. Site visits, you can certainly reach out to our sales team. And then we will put you in touch with the correct contact at the resort. So whether that's a site visit for yourself or a site visit for a wedding couple, we offer for both, obviously. So definitely that wedding planner at royaltonresorts.com is the best contact for all site visits to reach out to. I would imagine, I know typically before the property opens, I don't think anybody's allowed on site except for staff. So I would imagine not before, but I don't see why they wouldn't be taking bookings for site visits
After, for sure.
once it's open. Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course. And another agent says, sorry, I totally missed this. Was there a lot of hurricane damage to the Royalton in Jamaica? Thinking about it for clients.
Yeah, so there was a lot of damage. Being realistic, it was hit harder than we expected, I think, than anybody expected. That's why the closure has been extended to the amount of time that it has been, so that they have sufficient time to kind of rebuild everything. Yes, short answer, yes, it was quite affected, but the teams are working very diligently, and we've heard no different in reopening dates, which tells me everything seems to be going as scheduled. And like I mentioned, I'm in as frequent communication as I can be with the wedding teams, and they continue to have that same outlook, and that they're preparing and getting ready to open again and welcome guests and wedding couples and all of the fun things.
Wonderful. And which resort would be good for couples that want adult only, but some family members may have kids? Are there Royalton resorts that are side by side?
Yes. So that's Royalton and Hideaway. So those two resorts are connected. So you can have adults stay on the Hideaway side, and then any of the families with children or anybody under the age of 18 stay on the Royalton side. And then you would be able to have the adults come over to the Royalton side so they could all spend time together.
Okay. And I know we are approaching the 1 hour mark. Are you both okay to stay, Laura and Lori?
Yeah, I have a couple of extra
And
minutes.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
wonderful. So we've got a little over a dozen questions still to go, and we're we're answering. But anytime that we need to, go, we know that your
No worries.
department must be absolutely just smoking crazy busy. And of course, you'll have emails of everyone for follow-up. So if any questions need to be left for answering afterwards, that's completely okay. And agents, if you have to run, we understand as well. I also specialize in working with couples who are planning to propose. Do you offer elevated luxury level proposal experiences for guests who want to make their moment unforgettable?
Not at the moment. Right now, we're focusing very much on kind of the wedding ceremonies, receptions, cocktail hours themselves. Of course, some of that includes pre and post wedding events, but the hotel is more than happy to facilitate in doing that. That would be kind of in the groups department, or kind of the events department separately from weddings. To be able to facilitate something lovely, they can absolutely involve the vendors that we work with to make it everything very special for them. But right now, the packages that we offer don't include any engagement kind of proposal events.
Mm-hmm. But the locations, wow, like those overwater bungalows, amazing. Um, I have a client who, the future mother-in-law in October 2027, would need a wheelchair accommodation for a beach wedding. Is that possible?
Yes, yeah. I mean, it is possible. Lori, I don't know if you want to give some more detail of specific hotels that you're more aware of with the best accessibility.
Yeah, so I know typically what we've had to do is beach wheelchairs will need to be rented. So I know some of the larger resorts obviously are going to be a better option for this. Mexico, DR come to mind specifically. Some of the smaller islands, I don't know how accessible it is to get some of those items, but I do know we've had this request before. Basically, what we would do is we would put you in touch with the company to rent it from. And I believe then you would take it from there and deal with that specifically. But I know we've done it before for sure.
Okay, that's great. And is there commission on the hotel stays if you book direct?
So because we're weddings, we're not as versed on this side of things. So I believe this is what goes into some of the I was going to say Blue Diamond, but we're not Blue Diamond. The Royalton your BDM, sorry, would be the, let me
Yeah.
backtrack. Your BDM is the best contact for this. So I can't answer this as well as I would like to, but if you reach out to your BDM, they will be able to give you the exact answer for this question.
Okay, and I've shared a link in the chat once again to Royalton Unspoiled Agent, and we've got that list there for you and lots of other great things. Claire, I think Claire had a question. Claire said, can you go back a slide, please? Unfortunately, because of the order of the questions and how things are always changing, we're not sure what that might mean. I'm so sorry, Claire. If you could just enter your question, that'd be great. And we can get that right straight to that for you. Are there places to rent or buy wedding dresses or tuxedos?
So right now we don't have any partnerships or anything along those lines for outside kind of vendors or shops that do this type of thing. It definitely is a question that you could reach out directly to the hotel for. They might have some more contacts, local contacts that they know of, but it's not a partnership that we have right now or information that I'd be able to kind of provide in that area for kind of dress and tuxedo options.
Okay, perfect. That makes sense. And I don't know if it's easy to share the presentation so they could look at the BDM info. I think that's what Claire was looking for. Otherwise, I'm happy to share the link to where that can be found.
Sure. Let me see. In the meantime, I can try to
Sure.
open it
And then
again and
I
share
can
my
ask some
screen
more
while we keep
questions
going.
while you're doing
Yeah.
that. Thank you. Can you sample food and cake before making a wedding package purchase?
Okay, I can answer that. So
Thanks.
we do offer bridal preview visits. So if you are looking to go do a bridal preview stay for a couple of days, yes, we can arrange for that to happen. Bridal preview would be you stay, then you would come home and then book your wedding after that. Couples who will do what we call planning visit. So they will book their date, then they will travel and then try the food and stuff as well. We can also accommodate for that. So the answer is yes. What we cannot do though is have couples arrive in destination and want to do a tasting 2 or 3 days before their wedding. Everything's finalized at that point. But if they want to travel before, for sure.
Okay, absolutely. If a wedding's needed for 2026 or 2027 but can't get booked, is there a way for it to be worked into the year for the promotion to be used? I'm not sure how you would do that.
I'm not totally understanding the question.
It's
Yes,
sort of
I
there's
agree.
no availability. They want to book the promo, but they can't find the wedding date that they need, is what I understand. Forgive me or correct me if that's not what you meant. Um, just saying to the agent if that is different, but sort of how do we squeeze it in to get the promo if there isn't any space? Is there a wait
I
list?
think the question there is there like flexibility to the dates and the booking windows?
Perhaps, yeah.
Yeah, usually what we'll typically on the sales side, what we'll recommend is because this does happen, right? There are certain dates too that are very popular, double digits or specific numbers. And we'll, find what the couple's looking for, what is important to you in terms of stay or wedding venues. And we'll recommend maybe a different property because our sales team does work on all of the properties. So they are very well versed in terms of what else might work for what the couple's looking for. But if we don't have availability, whether it be rooms or wedding space for 2026 or 2027 at what they're looking for, we wouldn't be able to extend the promotion, say, into 2028 or anything like that.
Okay, so who's their best contact to try to see, if there are any openings? Is it that sales contact?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So I'll share that information just once again, so that everyone has that. And then on the tasting where you said they could come in advance and do the tastings, is that also available for the South Asian tasting menus if they book a visit?
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the cancellation policy on the wedding package?
Okay, so the deposit is non-refundable. So once you've secured that, if you did need to cancel before your final payment date or before any other further payments are required, that is what you would be losing. We do have more of a detailed cancellation policy in terms of once more payments are taken. Laura, you might be better to take that section of it.
Yeah, I think it depends. So if you're like Lori said, the deposit is non-refundable. If couples are looking to cancel, however, we do always offer the option of kind of postponing their wedding instead if that date, for example, hasn't worked for them for whatever reason or life gets in the way, there's a baby coming instead, things that don't necessarily mean we have to cancel altogether. We can work with them on postponing to a new date, that might work for them, and moving that initial deposit towards that new date so that it doesn't feel lost, or that they're forfeiting that non-refundable deposit. So that's the first thing I will say, and kind of our go-to strategy there when there is a requirement for a cancellation, because most of the time it's just due to it's not working right now and not necessarily I need to scrap this altogether. And then moving forward, depending on how many payments have been made and how late in the game the cancellation is, we can typically cancel as long as it's before 45 days in advance of the wedding, because that's when the final payment is due. Once we pass that timeline, there are cancellation fees that do apply. I would be lying to you if I said I remember them all off the top of my head right now in the exact timeline, but it just means that the closer that you're getting to your date, you are required to pay a portion or a percentage of your total wedding invoice at that time, because preparations have already started and vendors have already been kind of booked and paid and all of those things. So as long as it's further ahead, sooner than the final payment is due, there is wiggle room there and what we can do for options so that couples are not losing out on all of their payments.
Okay, and then can you mix and match? I'm just throwing this in there. I saw it in the chat and it's related. If the wedding is not happening anymore, can I say move that money to pay for rooms, or is that separate?
So the wedding deposit it's separate. It cannot be
Mm-hmm.
used towards the hotel stay or kind of amenities or add-ons at the hotel. It's solely a wedding date deposit, and it's used to hold the wedding date itself. And that's why we can't transfer it towards anything else, which is why we say if you can't move forward with the wedding at this time, is there another date that possibly works for you so that you're not losing out, and you can use it towards a future date next year when it makes more sense for you and your loved ones.
Okay. And do you know by chance the children's age for childcare?
It
Um,
Yeah, it varies between hotel. We do have that information internally. Some hotels more than others, of course, just based on, of course, like Splash, Cancun, we have some more information on that because it is more frequently asked question. But it varies. It definitely is a question that you guys can ask our sales department, and they'd be more than happy to let you know what information we have on childcare. It's always also a great idea to check the hotel's main websites. Most of the time, they have their own tabs for the child care or the kid zones of what they call that might provide you the answers that you're needing before reaching out.
Okay, perfect. I think we've reached the end of the Q&A. We have Mildred on Facebook. Thank you, Mildred. Hi, and thanks also for tuning in. Philimena saying great presentation from Mildred. Thanks for watching, Mildred. And thanks everyone for being on here live with us. I do have that one Q&A open for you just so that you have that timeline slide and you know who that might go to. And it was just wonderful. So many fantastic, detailed questions. I think an agent even said, sorry about that. No sorries. That's why we're here. We congratulate you. Hats off to you for taking the time to be here, learn, and really get all this information so you can promote and sell these fabulous properties for destination weddings with all the confidence. So well done. And thank you so much, Laura and Lori, for your time today. If you have any final words, we'd love you to share them.
Thank you. Well, I will just say, yeah. Oh, we're both
Go ahead,
so
Lauren. You got it.
I
Go
was
for
just
it.
going to do a quick thank you. We appreciate you guys taking the time. I think for us, it's important to know that the agents that are selling us understand what we do and what we can and can't do. And the idea is that we work together to get as many people, excuse me, and as many couples married with us at these fabulous locations and properties that we're continuing to open up. So if you have any questions, you have all of our contacts there and you know where to find us. But hopefully hopefully this provided you with a little bit more context and kind of a thorough understanding of what you are selling and what the couples can expect if they do decide to have their special day with us.
Lori, would you like to mention
Yeah,
anything?
so I echo everything Laura said. We are here always to help, so never hesitate to reach out if there's anything that you need, a question. We're here, and I'm looking forward to drawing for the winner for that prize and giving that away to one of you. So good luck, everybody.
Yes, good luck. Pick me. Just kidding. I can't win. You guys enjoy and please share on our Facebook group so we can live through you. Let us know where you're going and share those pics. We can't wait. So someone lucky is going to go for 4 nights for two. That's amazing. Have everyone have yourself a wonderful rest of your, it's today Wednesday, and a gorgeous ending to your week. We hope to see you soon on another Spoiled Digit webinar. Bye for now.
Thank you, everybody. Bye bye.